Good evening to you, dear televiewers, and welcome to the 6 p.m. newscast on Equinoxe television. In this edition of the newscast, Prime Minister Philemon Yang, or who no longer be known as Prime Minister of the Republic of Cameroon, a presidential decree signed this Friday, December 4, 2019, appoints Joseph John Ngute as new Prime Minister of the Republic of Cameroon. You will be getting his profile in this edition of the newscast with staffman Babila Jonathan. We will equally be telling you how the United Nations or the U.S. State Department and equally the Catholic Church in the Democratic Republic of Congo that have called on the election authorities in the Democratic Republic of Congo to release accurate results of the just ended elections, and equally in sports how the dates for the commencement of the National Elite 1 and Elite 2 Championship that have so far been made public. Manjikan Gabriel will be telling us more details and more in this edition of the 6 p.m. newscast. Once more, good evening to you, televiewers. Thanks for joining us in this prime-time newscast on Equinoxe television. We begin by telling you how Philemon Yang will no longer be Prime Minister of Cameroon. A presidential decree signed this Friday, December 4, 2019, by the head of state appoints Joseph John Ngute as new Prime Minister of the Republic of Cameroon. It should be noted Joseph John Ngute had served or was serving as Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic in charge of special duties. His appointment comes at a time when his private residence in Bobongo village in a Kondo-Titi subdivision in the Jan division of the Southwest region was set ablaze or burnt to ashes by unknown gunmen, including 2 vehicles. And just like I earlier indicated, his appointment is coming at a time when his residence was burned, and he was equally serving as Prime Minister or Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic in charge of special duties. And joining us in this edition of the 6 p.m. bilingual newscast is staffman Babila Jonathan. Good evening to you, and thanks for joining us.
Good evening, Innocent. Good evening, televiewers of Equinoxe Television.
And just like you equally followed the announcement that Joseph John Ngute is now the new Prime Minister of the Republic of Cameroon. Many people do not know who is Joseph John Ngute, but you have his profile.
Right, Innocent, we should indicate right away that his appointment, as you indicated earlier, comes just 24 hours after his private residence was burnt down in Bobongo village. It is in the Kondo-Titi subdivision in the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. And Joseph John Ngute, born on the 12th of March 1954, is a career diplomat who backed a PhD at the University of Warwick in the United Kingdom. He was the director of the National School of Administration and Magistracy in 1991, and he entered government on the 7th of December 1997 when he was appointed Minister Delegate at the Ministry of External Relations in charge of relations with the Commonwealth. And it should be indicated that he is the 5th Prime Minister from the Anglophone part of Cameroon. He is coming after Simon Achidiachu, who was appointed on the 9th of April 1992, Peter Mafani Musonga 19 September 1996, Ephraim Inoni, who is being incarcerated in Yaoundé, appointed on the in 2004, and he was Prime Minister from 2004 right up to 2009. Then the Philemon Yang, who is now leaving that position to Joseph John Ngute, was appointed on the 30th of June 2009, and he's been handling that position to date. And now Joseph John Ngute, appointed by the President of the Republic as 5th Prime Minister from the Anglophone parts of the country. Now, coming back to the history of prime ministers in the Republic of Cameroon, we should indicate that from the time the country was still divided into two in the former East and West Cameroons, in La République du Cameroun, Amadou Ahidjo was prime minister in January 1960, and he left office on the 5th of May 1960 and became the president of La République du Cameroun. He was succeeded as prime minister by Charles Saleh on the 15th of May 1960 right up to 1961, and later in the Federal Republic in East Cameroon we had Charles Saleh, who was prime minister, succeeded by Vincent de Paul Ahanda, and of course he was equally succeeded by Simon Pierre Nchungui. And in West Cameroon we had other prime ministers like John Gu Foncha, Augustin Gomjua, and of course Solomon Tangdeng Muna. And when the two parts of the country, the East and the former East and West Cameroons, decided to come together in 1961, that is talking about the United Republic, we now had Paul Biya, who was prime minister on the 30th, appointed prime minister on the 30th of June 1975. He definitely left office later and became president on the 6th of November 1982, and Bello Buba Maigari was appointed then prime minister on the 6th of November 1982. He was succeeded by Luke Ayang, who was appointed prime minister on the 22nd of August 1983. And then when the country changed name and became the Republic of Cameroon, Sadu Ayatu was appointed prime minister on the 26th of April 1991. And then the series of prime ministers from the English-speaking parts of the country started on the 9th of April 1992 with the appointment of Simon Chidiachu, and this has continued right up to Philemon Yang, and then Joseph DION NGUTE, appointed by the President of the Republic.
And Babila Jonathan, just to let you equally know that it's coming at the moment when the country is facing security challenges. You know, like in the north and southwest regions of the country, we had Philemon Yang, who was a former prime minister, who equally had a role to play in ensuring that peace returns in both regions. But now he's been sent out, and a new person coming in as a first leg. How do you see him coming and equally maybe trying to manage the crisis if similar tax that was delegated to Philemon Yang?
I should indicate right away that the Prime Minister is the head of government charged with the responsibility of ensuring the implementation of policies of the head of state, and of course is like we saw Prime Minister Philemon Yang, who was assigned on several occasions as far as the Anglophone crisis is concerned. He went to the northwest region trying to find solutions together with other members of government, and Joseph DION NGUTE is coming at a time when the crisis has continued deepening. He is also coming, we should indicate, at a time when the whole nation has been expecting the appointment of a new government, a complete cabinet reshufflement, but the President of the Republic has appointed just the Prime Minister, and of course it is within his duties to get into the shoes of Philemon Yang in trying to find solutions to the Anglophone crisis, notably within the framework, within the ambits of instructions from the head of state, within the ambits of policies that have been laid down, instructions that have been given, decisions that have been taken, directions that have been given by the head of state as far as solving the Anglophone crisis is concerned.
Maybe we can be saying he has an experience since he's been serving as a minister delegate at the presidency of the Republic in charge of special duties.
Yes, he equally served as minister delegate at the Ministry of External Relations in charge of relations with the Commonwealth, and definitely he has been in the Cameroonian administration since December 7, 1997. So so many decades of experience in the Cameroonian administration, and of course he has been in touch with what is happening in the northwest and in the southwest regions of the country, considering that he himself is a victim of what is happening there. We were just talking earlier on about his private residence in Bobongo village in the Kondo Titi that has been set ablaze by unidentified individuals. He certainly has some experience. But then, as it is usually said in French, on verra le maçon au pied du mur. We will see the builder when he builds the house.
Certainly, Babla Jonathan, and equally to add that there were already 3 versions of maybe lists published on social media circulating, defining various personalities as Prime Minister of the Republic and equally other ministers. But unfortunately, none of the Prime Ministers that featured on the maybe 3 versions of the list published on social media featured.
Yeah, those were just speculations. Those were just speculations. Even newspapers had been speculating on some of the personalities who were tipped to be appointed Prime Minister, including people like former Minister of Forestry and Wildlife, Professor Elvis Ngole, and of course others who were tipped to become the next Prime Ministers of the Republic. President Paul Biya has made his choice. He has chosen Joseph DION NGUTE.
Thanks so much, Babla Jonathan, for being a special guest on this particular subject.
Thanks.
And of course, that was Babla Jonathan. You heard him there. He's talking on the presidential list that just appointed Joseph DION NGUTE as new Prime Minister of the Republic of Cameroon. He is the one who will be fitting in the shoes of Philemon Yang. Oh, Babla Jonathan, you certainly have more.
Yes, we should indicate that Joseph DION NGUTE is the paramount ruler of Barombi in the Indian division of the southwest region of the country. He is equally a traditional ruler. This simply means that he has a certain mastery of the situation on the ground as a traditional ruler whose village is in the heat of the crisis, hit northwest and southwest regions of the country. His village is one of the hardest hit by the Anglophone crisis, and so that kind of boosts the idea that he certainly has a mastery of the situation on the ground.
I will certainly have to fold arms and watch him play his role in ensuring that peace returns in the 2 English-speaking regions of Cameroon, notably the southwest and northwest regions of the country, and why not Cameroon in general. We now continue on to something else. It is a 10-year-old child, a primary school child, that has drowned in the River Mezam, that's in Bamenda 2 subdivision of the northwest region of the country. That happened this afternoon. We shall be telling you more in a subsequent edition of the newscast. And on to something else, a Minister of Trade, Luke Magloire Tangana, has given the go-ahead to Cameroonians to consume their broly rice by saying that the government will continue supervising and controlling foodstuff entering Cameroon. Luke Magloire Tangana made a declaration during a meeting with officials of the broly enterprise to clear off rumors circulating on the heads of that enterprise. Manjikan Gabriel tells us more.
Trade Minister Luke Magloire Tangana reassures that government never gives a blank check to any business operator.
Naturellement, le gouvernement ne signe de chèque en blanc à personne. Le gouvernement reste vigilant.
But adds that other interministerial disciplinary committee will be more vigilant to check on the type of food that gets into the country.
Nos équipes multidisciplinaires interministérielles vont faire preuve de plus de vigilance encore sur le riz en particulier, mais sur tous les autres produits importés à la suite de cette alerte.
It was during a meeting that brought together the officials of Africa Food Distribution and those of the Amanti and Broly enterprise about the quality of rice produced by Amanti and Broly that sparked social media platforms some days ago. According to Africa Food Distribution, the quality of the rice from Amanti and Broly are consumable, but that it was a campaign of sabotage that was used by detractors to stop people from consuming the rice. During a working session that lasted for about 2 hours with much talk concentrated on the Amanti and Broly products, officials used it to show documents that proved their transactions are official. Amongst them, attestation on the quality of the products and a duly signed documents on inspection of their products before it is being sent out. African Food Distribution has now distanced themselves from the alleged plastic rice and has announced that a complaint has been dropped against Jean-Marc Gos and Delors Magellan Kamsu Kamga for defamation and the spreading of fake news at the Ndokoti Court of First Instance.
A man is behind bars in the known division after he was caught transporting marijuana. He was caught by local vigilante group members and handed over to security forces. Immaculate Fogwe tells us more.
Seen from afar, one would say these are bales of clothing, but in reality, they are bales of well-stocked marijuana. A man was caught by the Fiat Vigilante group in the known division transporting marijuana. He was later on reported to the Gendarmerie Brigade Commander of Jimon, Japa Idrisu, who rushed to the scene. Winka Justin, the marijuana transporter, says he thought he was transporting the bales of clothing.
So now my brother, he give me say that brother he work at the sell clothes.
Yes.
So he give me say since I know the route, I they ever come for the route. So me I take him. He go call his friend. Since they don't drive them, they know the sand market for that come again. So he go call that friend. If I come with for fear, he go can't take him for motor. When I calculate how me at the ride na bike. I the come the route, I the transfer people. I live for live. I live someone for live or someone I come live for fear. So as I come live for fear, I take Pekin the camp. I take a cargo the camp. Pekin the go for.
I had no idea that I was transporting marijuana. The man who gave me the goods to transport is a vendor of clothes. So I was convinced based on its packaging that I was transporting dresses. Japa Idrisu used this opportunity to congratulate the vigilante group and called on the forces of law and order to be extremely vigilant.
Le souhait, c'est que nous saluons l'action du comité de vigilance de Fouillade. Et puis nous appelons donc toute autre personne à nous aider dans ce sens, d'être vigilants, parce que ce n'est pas facile de dépister que ces colis sont les colis du cannabis. Tout le monde peut croire qu'il s'agit de la friperie. Nous saluons ainsi l'action du comité de vigilance, avec qui nous travaillons d'ailleurs continuellement et qui nous ont toujours rendu de nombreux services.
I congratulate the vigilante group for their efforts. I also call on the forces of law and order to be vigilant because it's not easy to detect such a criminal act. This is, however, not the first catch of marijuana in the west region of the country.
And several parts of Cameroon remain in an extreme state of underdevelopment many years after independence and equally months after the presidential election of Cameroon in 2018. One of such is in Tui in the Mbam Kim division of the central region, and the areas suffer from acute lack of social amenities. Details in Fomi Armstrong Sana.
This is the only source of potable water to inhabitants of Mission neighborhood of Mtui, chief town of the Mbam and Kim division, central region of Cameroon. To fetch the precious liquid, locals must exercise patience, perseverance and endurance. To and from the source is a very challenging physical exercise, especially on this narrow stretch of the road. Some locals say they have adopted an attitude to ration water because of the distance and the challenges involved in fetching. After the perilous process, 20 liters of water at the center town of Mtui is sold at 200 francs CFE and 30 liters 300 francs CFE. Commercial motorbike riders who transport the precious liquid also have a difficult story to tell.
Sont blessés, massacrer une masse.
But that is not the only nightmare of the people of Ntui, as the area suffers from a disturbing enclave status. Ntui is the headquarters of the Mbam and Kim division, but can't boast of a 3 kilometer of road. The bad road situation is even worse, moving from neighborhoods like Mission, Vraie Église, Bolulu, or Mabonge to the other. Locals pay the price as transport in some cases doubled considering the poor state of road. Village community development projects have deteriorated, making matters worse. With a budget of about 900 million francs CFA, the Ntui Municipal Council, whose new council building has been abandoned in the bush, looks up to 2019 as challenging. Administrative authorities in Ntui say the security of the area is increasingly being threatened by criminals chased out of the capital city, Yaoundé. Some public services in Ntui were recently burgled by these men of the underworld, and the senior divisional officer for the Mbam and Kim, Donatien says the act is unforgivable. Perhaps the only good news from the enclave area of Ntui is that the canoe transporting persons and goods over the Nachtigal is now functional, several months after it went bad.
And in news out of the country, the Catholic Church in the Democratic Republic of Congo says or has urged authorities to release accurate results of the country's election. The church said its conclusion was based on the result it had seen and urges the authorities not to tamper on the elections and proclaim the right winners. Details with Immaculate Fogwe.
The Roman Catholic Church in the Democratic Republic of Congo has said it already knows the winner of the December 30th presidential elections. In a press conference on Thursday, bishops in DRC said they based their claims on independent tallying from the thousands of election monitors that the church dispatched in different polling stations. The National Episcopal Conference bishops thus tasked the Independent National Electoral Commission to reveal the winner in keeping with truth and justice. Based on the result sheets in possession from the different polling stations, the choice of candidate as President of the Republic has been proven. To this effect, the Independent National Electoral Commission is called as a democratic institution to make public the results with all responsibility in respect of truth and justice. Their declaration comes less than 24 hours since the Independent National Electoral Commission told main aspirants at a meeting in Kinshasa that its January 6, 2018 date for initial release of results will most likely be delayed. The National Electoral Commission boss, Cornel Nanga, reportedly told aspirants that the slow transmission of result sheets from around the country had just about 17% of figures as at January 2nd. Senko has yet to mention who their winner is or to publish a breakdown of how they arrived at that conclusion.
And still talking about the election of the Democratic Republic of Congo, the United States on Thursday demanded that the Democratic Republic of Congo should release accurate election results, warning of sanctions against anyone who undermines the fledgling democracy. According to the United States authorities in the Democratic Republic of Congo, or in the Democratic of Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo should remove restrictions on internet access and the media. The U.S. or United States also urged the Independent National Election Commission to count votes transparently. The U.S. State Department spokesperson Robert Palladino noted in a statement that millions of Congolese went peacefully to the polls on December 30. He added that it is now time for the election body to affirm that these votes were not cast in vain by ensuring the accurate reporting of election results. Still in a statement, the State Department spokesperson says Those are moments, or there are moments in every nation's history when individuals and political leaders step forward and do the right thing, noting that this is one of those moments for the Democratic Republic of Congo. And according to Paladino, those who undermine the democratic process, threaten the peace, security, or stability of the Democratic Republic of Congo, or benefit from corruption may find themselves not welcomed in the United States and cut off from the U.S. financial system. And now we talk sports to say the dates for the start of the National Elite 1 and Elite 2 Championships of Cameroon have been made public, and equally the number of clubs that will be participating. And this was during a meeting that brought together officials of the National Football Federation FECAFOOT and those of the Professional Football League of Cameroon and club President FECAFOOT's boss Sedo Momo Njoya chaired the meeting. Smanji Kangebe reports.
Professionnel MTN Elite 1 est fixé au 26 ou 27 janvier 2019 et celle du championnat MTN Elite 2 fixé au 30 janvier 2019.
It was the major announcement that was made at the consultation meeting between FECAFOOT's president Seydou Mbombo Joya and ex-Army General Pierre Semenge. The MTN Elite 1 Championship is expected to start between the 26th and 27th of January 2019, while MTN Elite 2 is to start on the 30th of January 2019. Initially known to be a gathering for the new officials of FECAFOOT to meet with the president of the Professional Football League and club presidents, the gathering was transformed into one of solving problems between the club presidents and ex-Army General Pierre Semenge, something the FECAFOOT president was glad to be at the helm.
One of our main preoccupations after we have been elected was to try to resolve this very important problem that we have to face. So after 3 hours of negotiation and discussion, we have been able to come to a conclusion, like to start the competition from the 24th January as the African Confederation has wished, because as you know there is a new calendar that has been decided who oblige us to end the competitions end of May and beginning of June. So I'm very happy that we have found a solution.
Amongst the participants at the meeting was ex-Secretary General of the Professional Football League, Pauline Therese Mangele, who was forcefully sent to retirement. She was representing Yaoundé Foot FC. Apart from the dates of the new football season that was made known, it was also announced in the crisis meeting that there will be no increase in the number of clubs playing in the Elite 1 and Elite 2 Championship, as the same number will be maintained. At the Elite 1 Championship, 18 clubs will participate, and the Elite 2, 15 clubs. FECAFOOT has also announced to support the Professional Football League with an undisclosed amount for them to start the league, but will also accompany the Professional Football League to adopt the new changes from the Confederation of African Football.
We are going to accompany the league for a new form of organization and to try to reform this institution that we have on our charge. Anyhow, I'm very happy, and I'm happy that all the message of pacifications, message of unity has been really been achieved, and this is one of the most important proof that our message went through.
The crisis meeting ended up with the creation of an ad hoc committee led by the first vice president of FECAFOOT, Alioune Konaté, to continue to look for solutions on problems plaguing the Professional Football League of Cameroon.
And before we end this edition of the 6 p.m. newscast on Equinoxe television, it is worth reminding that Philemon Yang will no longer be Prime Minister of the Republic of Cameroon. A presidential decree signed this Friday, December 4, 2019, appoints Joseph John Ngute as a new Prime Minister of the Republic of Cameroon. And before his appointment, he was serving as a minister delegate at the presidency of the Republic in charge of special duties. He is equally paramount ruler of the Barombi clan in the southwest region. That's it for this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. Thanks so much for joining us. Do have a splendid weekend and evening.